Haruinkorea, and today I just wanted to make a video about the tips that I have for university life at Yonsei University. Okay, tip number one is I would say you definitely want to join clubs when you're here. I'm not saying you have to, but for me personally, I feel that I've definitely made most of my Korean friends here through clubs, and I also think that it gives you like an environment to meet Korean people who are really interested in like talking with foreigners. So that's why I decided to join some clubs, and one of the clubs I joined, which is probably one of my favorites, is called Mentors Club. And basically you get like a mentor who's a Korean person, and they like plan group activities with like 5 other foreigners, and you just like go around the city, do things. They'll take you to cool places to eat or just like fun activities. Like yesterday I actually went bowling with my mentors group, which was really fun because honestly, like, I know bowling exists in Korea, but I wouldn't have found the bowling alley on my own, so I thought that was really fun. And then next week we're going to the river to just eat chicken and beer because I guess that's like traditional, not traditional, but like I guess a classic thing that people do in Korea. They just go to the river and eat chicken and beer and just chill and relax and ride bikes and take pictures and stuff. So I'm excited for that. So I would say if you come here, join Mentors Club because it's really awesome. That's one of my favorites. Another club that I joined is like a language exchange club, but it's more of like you get paired with one person instead of like a group of people, but you still join it as a club, and then the club like pairs you with your language exchange partner. So it's been very helpful for me to have a language exchange partner, even though my Korean is not very good at all. So sometimes it's hard for me to speak to my partner in Korean, but it works out because she teaches me Korean words and Korean sentences and like slang versions of Korean words that I would never learn in a textbook. So I think that's really cool. And just like hearing her talk in Korean is really helpful for my comprehension. And it's also really great to know that I'm also helping her because she's studying abroad next semester in America. So it's just like really nice to be able to teach her slang words and help her improve her help her improve her English. So I actually really enjoy doing that, and I think we're going to be really great friends by the end of this trip, and so I'm really happy I did that club. And there's a couple other ones I joined. I would also just make sure not to join too many because like it's kind of a lot on your plate. Like I joined like 4 at the beginning of the semester, and the 2 that I mentioned are the only ones that I'm actually participating in right now. So I would just make sure, like when you get here, you'll probably be like, oh, I want to join all these clubs, but I would like look into them, pick a couple favorites, and then stick with those ones. Tip number 2, I would say you don't want to take too many classes at Yonsei University, just because like at your home school you might be used to taking 18 credits, and that's great because usually I take about 18 credits at my home school too. But when you get to Korea, you're going to be in a new environment, it's going to be a lot of change, and trying to like pile all of that on top of 18 credits is kind of a lot. When I first got here I had 18 credits, and I knew the first week of classes I was like, no, this is not going to work. I know myself, like 18 credits was just too much on top of being in a new country trying to figure out where everything was. So I dropped down to 15 credits, which even 15 is kind of a lot because I'm still really busy all the time. Like I have to write essays and do homework assignments, but my program that I'm on requires me to take 15 credits. I don't really have a choice, but it works out well. I think 15 is like a decent balance. It's better than 18, and I still have time to go out and do things. So I would just say that if you're here, make sure you don't take too many classes because you're definitely going to want to go out and like enjoy Korean culture and like hang out with friends and meet new people. And so you're not going to want to be like typing essays all day long when you're in Korea, if that makes sense. Okay, tip number 3. I would say that you also want to volunteer when you're in Korea. I currently volunteer at a child care center, and we work with kids who are about, I think they're 7 to, at the oldest, like 11, 12-ish. And we basically just, like every week, me and other foreigners plan like activities for them to do, whether it's games. They really enjoy playing American games, so that's really fun. We've watched American movies with them. We like eat snacks with them, and like it's really fun for me to like see how Korean kids act versus like American kids in schools, because I've also volunteered at schools with American kids and it's a lot different than with Korean kids. So I thought that was really interesting, and it's also a great way for me to practice my Korean too, because the kids they know literally no English past hi, my name is whatever. So if I want to talk to them, which I do, then I have to practice my Korean, and like I want to talk to them, so it's also like a motivator for me to practice more Korean and learn more vocabulary words. So I think volunteering is a good thing to do. When you first arrive at Yonsei, one of the things that you'll go to is the Yonsei orientation, and it's going to be like a lot of information getting thrown at you, but somewhere in that information they'll talk about volunteering opportunities. Like there's other ones you can do. You can like help clean up the city, and I think there was like ones where you can help teach English to like older people, and so they've got a lot of options. So when you get to that part of the orientation, just keep track of that and see if there's any opportunities that you want to do, because I really enjoy volunteering a lot. Tip number 4, I would say this might be kind of obvious, but eat at the student center. When you get here, you're gonna be like, oh, I have money to go spend on all this expensive food. No, eat at the student center and treat yourself out to super nice food once in a while, because the student center is so cheap. Like you can get a meal for like $2 to $4, and like you get your, like, let's say I get stew a lot there, so I get my kimchi stew, and then I get my rice, and then I get like a cup of water, and it's like $2, and I'm like, yes, I can afford this. And then it gives me more money to go explore Korea or go shopping or whatever I want to do. So I would say eat at the student center. I think they're open until 7 at night, so you've got plenty of time to get over there, and you get like really cheap food. Tip number 5. I don't know if this was just for my classes or if the classes at Yonsei are just like this. I don't know, I'm not sure, so this might not apply to everybody. Maybe it's just my professors. But I feel like for my professors, I didn't have a syllabus day. On the first day of class, usually I feel like the teacher goes over the syllabus, everything that's required, how many absences you can miss, like how you're gonna be graded. And my teachers never did that. So I had to like talk to my teachers if I wanted to know my grades, and I had to talk to them to figure out how many classes I could miss. So I would definitely talk to your professor instead of just like kind of guessing how many classes you can miss or something like that. Like you just want to be sure, because I feel like in America, my professors were just like really straightforward. They're like, okay, you can miss this many days, here's the syllabus, this is how you're going to be graded. If you want to check your grade, go online here. But for me, I had no clue where to go to check my grade, so I had to ask my professor if I wanted to know my grade. So I would just say, like, don't be surprised if your professors are like that. I'm not going to say all of them are, because I don't think that's true. But yeah, just don't be scared to talk to your professors. And tip number 6. I would say this is super obvious, but go to class. I know in America, sometimes you're like, I just want to sleep in, I'm not going to go to class. My teacher doesn't even care about attendance anyway. But in Korea, the attendance policy is a lot different. Well, I don't know if it's all Korea, because that's not true. I'm just speaking for Yonsei. But I know the attendance policy is a lot more strict here. Like, for my Korean class, like, you can miss 32 hours of class, and then once you go past 32 hours, you fail. So there's no like your grade just starts to get lower. It's like you just get an F and that's final, and there's not really much you can do to fix it. Like you missed 32 hours, and unless you have like a really good excuse like a doctor's note, that's final. So I would say, again, like the other tip I said, just talk to your professors to make sure you know how many classes you can miss. But also, don't try to miss classes. If you're not a morning person, don't schedule yourself for morning classes. I know for me, I consider 2 o'clock in the afternoon a morning class. So I know for myself, if I want to go to class, I've got to have classes that are closer to the afternoon. Like if I have a class at 8 in the morning, I just know me, like I'm not going to want to go to class. And when I get to class, I'm going to be upset that I'm in class, but it's so early in the morning. So if you know you're like that, just schedule afternoon classes for yourself, because you definitely want to go to class, because it's a lot harder, I think, to just miss class here. Alright, so that's all I wanted to talk about today. I feel like after I end this video, I'll probably have a lot more tips that I'll think of. But if that happens, I'll make another video with more tips. But I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will see ya!